USP, unique selling proposition. Let's talk about it. So if you're new to this, I document myself every day building my business. Business model is LBOs. We're buying businesses using leverage, using debt to buy assets, right? But the topic today, unique selling proposition, is something I've seen over and over and over. And I like to talk about it. So these are just very raw videos if you're new to this, no editing. So where do I start? So honestly, I've talked about tertiary markets in my old videos, and it's a way to beat your competitors when you're still new in the industry, right? I already talked about that. So this kind of stems off of that. I've noticed it. So a USP, a unique selling proposition, you have to be different than your competition in some kind of way. So when people think about business, they think they need to invent like Facebook or Google, or they need to be Einstein or any of the above, right? But no, like changing and tweaking things just a little bit is enough to make you different and enough to make you unique and have a unique proposition to your clients. But you need to stand out in some kind of way, because more than likely, if you see another business out there, right, and you see 10 of them, and you want to be the 11th SMMA, right, and you're going to contact clients and you're going to be different than them somehow, just somehow, more than likely you're going to get the same results as the other 10, man. The same results as the other 10 of your competition. The reason why is because you don't stand out. Like, why? If just use logic, right? If you're selling it to me, if you're talking to yourself and you're the client, why would he go with you over someone else? It's just logic, man. Like, of course everyone knows that. I'm not like saying something super special, but the special point about this video that you might not have noticed before is that you need a unique selling proposition that doesn't need to be super like drastic. It could be so small and minuscule, just like a slight tweak. For example, right? If you look at the reviews of other people's companies, and honestly, Google reviews, Amazon reviews and comments on YouTube channels, like seeing honest feedback of people is the number one indicator on how you can improve your business. And it's the number one way to kind of find that USP. I even read it in How to Make a Few Billion Dollars by Brad Jacobs. He's a billionaire worth 4.1 billion, and his management style of running a large corporation like XPO and these multi-billion-dollar corporations that he's created in his career. He's 70 years old. He's created $7 billion businesses. Each one was $1 billion. And he is big on surveys. And you could do it even before you have a company. You just look at other people's reviews, right? He does surveys on his employees, on his customers, on the management, on the board members, and he shares these surveys with his partners, right? And he asks questions to the employees like, how would you improve this company if you own this company? What would you change to make this company better? What's the best part of our company that we need to continue to do or improve? Like he'll survey. If you're buying a very large corporation, let's say you're doing a very large acquisition, you have to do interviews with the top 10 people of that company. It's the surveys. It's other people's comments. That's the best way to find out how to tweak and become better. Like, for example, like Cost Plus Drugs. I was talking about it the last couple of days. That's the company that Mark Cuban is creating nowadays, right? And he's just taking people's complaints about the pills and drug industry. You know, it's too expensive. People can't pay for it, right? There's not enough transparency. People are being ripped off. Like, it's just a big problem. He takes people's comments and finds a solution for it. Like, maybe if you're in SMMA, you find out what the other 10 are doing, and the clients are complaining about the other 10. Oh, like they're not helping me get real results, for example. Like the ads aren't working. And ads is a terrible business model, in my opinion. But that aside, maybe you just know how to get results in a real way, not the same way that other people do. Whatever. Maybe you're in an industry like med spa industry, and you just get people leads. But what if you are able to get those leads and convert it into a booked appointment or whatever, man. Like, just create something. Find what people are complaining about and create something. But anyways, where am I right now? Why is it during the day? Right now it's Sunday morning, and I'm making this video for yesterday because I do these daily. And I got home around 10 at night, and I knocked out, slept. Got good sleep, man, but I didn't want to sleep. I had to do the video and everything, but I was really tired because I slept really late the night before, and I woke up really early on Saturday. So I woke up around 6 or 7. It was around 7, and I went to, it was like this car meet in the uptown area in my city. And I've never been to a car meet, actually. That was my first time, but I thought it'd be a great networking opportunity. And I got to see a bunch of cars that I don't normally get to see. Like, it was pretty crazy. I got to meet a lot of people there are older that own these cars, but it was really cool. And I think it's a benefit, actually, like, to network and, you know, get to know people that are like doing stuff that you might be interested in doing. Maybe you want to own a nice car one day, right? But yeah, I did that in the morning. That's why I woke up really early, and then I went to work after. And I noticed that even at work, like, I'm in sales. You need a USP in sales. Like, why would they buy from you when they're getting 3 other quotes, right? You need to come up with some kind of unique selling proposition and make it logically understood, right? I've done it in my other sales jobs, and it's just a common theme, man. Like, that's how you succeed in business. What do I know? Like, I don't have a super big business, but yeah, I ran into someone yesterday who was willing to fund one of my deals, up to $50,000 or $75,000 in one of my deals. And he's like, okay, what kind of return can I see on that? And he kind of has an idea, because I mentioned it to him before, but I was like, listen, man, when I get a solid deal, I'll be able to tell you with more clarity. I'll be able to tell you more realistic numbers. So just until then, like, you know, I'll come back to you on it. But yeah, man, I'm trying to think of like USPs I could think of in the acquisition space in my sector of healthcare. Honestly, I think the biggest bottleneck right now for me is my job. Like, it eats up all my important time of the day. So there has to be a way for me to fix that, you know what I mean? I have a few ideas. One of them is the AI cold calling stuff that I saw. And it sounds really realistic, but it doesn't hurt to at least give it a try, you know what I mean? Especially if I'm gonna be at work and I can't hit these calls. I noticed a lot of people that do off-market deal flow, they just send a lot of mail. I've noticed that. I spoke with someone yesterday, actually. It was from my job. Like, I saw someone, I met a guy who was, he was in the real estate space. He has like 8 properties. And we were just talking. We had a very great conversation about real estate, because my family did real estate, and I have unlimited stories when it comes to real estate. But he also bought like these hair salons. I think he was telling me about it. He owns like 3 of them. And I was like, how did you find them? What was the deal flow process for you? And he's like a standardized kind of buyer. So he looks on Biz Buy Sell, which is like the regular website for brokers. Like, everyone goes on that website, right? But he was trying to buy businesses. He was trying to buy it with his cousin. So him and his cousin combined money to have the 20% down payment on whatever kind of cash flowing asset, right? But then eventually he went to the franchise like office, and he asked to open up some offices. And he was telling me like different strategies on like management and things of that nature. And he's very, very interested in HVAC businesses. And I told him about how I know someone who helps you find off-market deals, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, like, I'm really interested in that. Like, connect me with your friend, like, blah, 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 blah. There's a huge demand for off-market deal flow, man. Like, if you know how to unlock the off-market deal flow. And it's people like that I really want to be around. And the acquisition space, like buying assets, is how you grow in any kind of industry. Like yesterday, I was talking with someone at the car meet who wanted to do acquisitions in the media space. And we were talking about a book. I don't remember the guy's name that wrote the book, but it was one of the CEOs of Disney. He had a book talking about all the acquisitions that Disney did. Disney, they bought Lucasfilms, George Lucasfilms, the Star Wars series, they bought that. They bought a lot of parks. They bought a lot of like TV stations. They bought a lot of different brands, like I think Pixar. They did a lot of acquisitions. That's how they grew. They bought ESPN. So these are all acquisitions that Disney did. And it's hard to beat them. Like, it's hard to lose when you own so many different brands, because even if one of your brands, one of your businesses loses, you have all these businesses still running, you know? Like, you'll never lose. Like the guy who owns Louis Vuitton, he's never gonna lose. He's never gonna be broke again. He's really young boy, never gonna be broke again. That's him, because he owns a gazillion brands. Young boy, his assets are his songs. So if he has more songs, he has more assets. One of them will do well. But if you own one single family property and you have one tenant that leaves, you're screwed. So it's not the same. You want to diversify in that sense, like in that way, right? You don't have to be Einstein. You don't have to be a big time inventor to really differentiate yourself. There's a lot of people that do it in small tweaks. And that's really the point of this video.